I find it hilarious when I hear new creators complain about how hard it is to break through in the online creator space. Folks love to blame X, Y, and Z on their failures, but in reality, there's no better time than now to be a content creator. There's more money, jobs, and clout being generated than ever. Not to mention, there's more resources than ever. When I started 16 years ago, there were no channels or websites dedicated to teaching you how to grow. I had to search on the 20th page of some forum, I'm sure it doesn't exist anymore, just to learn how to record video gameplay in 720p because Elgato's didn't exist and the Hauppauge HD PVR wasn't a well-known thing at the time. The reality is that a lot of y'all are late to the party and you only hopped on the train when you realized there was money and clout involved. But also understand there's so much opportunity out here, you just have to be willing to put in the work and put out a better product than the competition. It's so crazy right now. The research has shown that 75% of kids between the ages of 6 and 17 want to be an influencer on YouTube, TikTok, IG, or whatever else platform. Now, when I was a kid, we aspired to be a ball player, rapper, or an actor if you wanted to go into the entertainment field. Some still do, but a lot of these kids figured out that most of these rappers are broke and their favorite YouTuber makes more than them.
You serious?
DDG, today's topic of discussion, actually sparked a debate online last year about the topic of content creators getting the bag over rappers, and I tend to agree with him. It's just a weird statement to make considering DDG is a former YouTuber gone rapper. It seems counterproductive to take the route of rapper if you know content creation is better. Now, some might argue he switched to rapping because his passion for music is deeper than YouTube, and that might be the case. I just wish that passion was on showcase in the music itself because his latest album, Maybe It's Me, is a chore to listen to. Before we get into why, you know the rules when it comes to my album reviews. We have to break down the deeper meaning on the album art. On the cover of Maybe It's Me, we see DDG shirtless with his chains on blowing that Dragon Ball Z. Now, his shirt is off because he released this album during the summer. He wants everyone to know that not only does he believe in global warming, but he can quite literally feel it, and that's why his shirt is off, and he wants the politicians to do something about it, like use more renewable energy. Even the chains on his neck further reinforce that 2023 is one of the hottest summers on record. He wore all of that ice on the cover because that's what it took to cool down his body. As you can see, there are 3 hands on the cover. The one in the middle is him holding that za, but the other 2 are from a nice young lady. Now, you would think those hands on him indicate he's not afraid to fornicate with tons of beautiful women, but really, it's just a woman being kind to him. See, most women have low iron, at least that's what they claim, and because they all have low iron, they're always cold, thus she's using her cold hands to further cool down DDG in the summer. In the background, you can see a black silhouette. Now, many would assume that's just his shadow, but if you zoom in, you can see it's actually Ebon from Static Shock. Ebon is the one who sold him that Dragon Ball Z. He's just trying to make sure DDG is happy with his product like,
well, I'm family. I'm always ready to take you in.
All right, I'm done with the jokes. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. I'd like to preface this video by saying that my audience asked me to check out this album and share my thoughts. So if by any chance DDG sees this video and reacts, because I know you still do reactions on YouTube, I promise you I am not one of your haters. I do not care enough about you to hate you. This is the first project I've actually heard from you, so no, this is coming from a newcomer's perspective. Maybe It's Me is the latest project from DDG. It is 12 songs and it has a 33-minute runtime, but sadly it felt much longer, and for a multitude of reasons. The first of which, dude, DDG. I don't know about Apple Music, but on Spotify, it was hard to find your album. You search DDG on Spotify and go to albums, and your new album is the 4th one down the row. He's released several versions of this album, including a sped up and slowed down version and several remixes of Geekin'. By the time I found the regular version of Maybe It's Me, I was ready to not care, to be honest. Business rule 101. Always make it as easy as possible for the consumer. Be accommodating if you want to make a sale. There's so much content out here for people to consume between video games, movies, music, television. So anytime you put barriers in front of yours, you're playing at a disadvantage. Not to mention, your music just isn't good enough for a sped up and slowed down version of the album. This all stems from here we have yet another artist who can't pick a lane and then just stick in it. The opening track titled Famous contains your typical I'm cooler than you bars, but DDG elects to strangely go for a more up-tempo EDM instrumental. I commend him for trying something different, but he fails miserably to stick the landing. The problem with this track is the beat sounds like something that should be in Space Channel 5 with Ooh La La, but he spends the whole record just shitting on you, the listener, with his generic I got more money, cars, and bitches bars. When people hear house beats, they want to feel good, but the record is riddled with negativity. Say what you want about Drake's Honestly Nevermind, but at least he somewhat got the house music vibe right. That's a man capable of
combination.
Track 3 is titled Tryna Link, and DDG goes on to say he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 women trying to link. The beat is cool, but I'm just riding in the car listening like, okay, And that's the entire issue with the album. And I can't stress enough, I take no issue with rappers who make ignorant music. It's fun to turn up and listen to it when you're at a party, in the car, at the gym. But the issue with DDG is he's just far too literal. There's no punchlines, no metaphors, no clever setups. The 1, 2, 3 bars are the only thing I can quote from this album besides another bar from Geekin because it's so forgettable. If you don't have bars, then you need strong production. People like Gunna or Travis Scott, they're not lyrical, but they do a great job of creating something sonically pleasing. But a lot of these beats DDG used sound like he searched for DDG type beats on YouTube, thus you have a project that has no flow to it. Track 6 is titled Riz, and this song does a great job of displaying DDG's lack of self-awareness. From the content I've seen of DDG, ever since he switched to being a rapper, he's done his best to distance himself from the content creator community, like almost like he's just too cool. And from my research, he even deleted all his old videos as a proof of a rebrand a few years back. So as a consumer, understand it's confusing to see someone say they want to be taken more seriously as an artist and not an internet personality, but then you have a song like Riz on your album, which is purely an internet term. I've never met a man in real life who's really pulling women claiming to have Riz. That's comment section stuff. The album is called Maybe It's Me, and a song like Riz proves it. You still have one foot in the creator space while you also shaded it. Personally, I think there's nothing wrong with doing both, but you gotta be aware of the things you say and do, otherwise you come across as hypocritical. Also, the song's just not good. The one glimmer of hope for this album is track 8 titled Hard on Myself. For this one, he elected for a more laid-back soul sample type of beat where he actually opens up and sounds like an artist. This one actually had my head bobbing. The production's nice, and I feel like I was actually listening to an artist and not another generic rapper off of the assembly line. I'm not saying his entire album needed to sound like this, but I am saying this track had far more heart in it. The ignorant fun music he makes lacks soul or anything catchy about it, so it just comes across as ignorant. And I don't want anyone thinking I'm just shitting on dude, because as a fellow creator, I'd like to see him improve. So I'm gonna give you an example of what I mean when I say his music lacks creativity or heart. An ignorant fun tune you could tell he had fun in the studio making would be Central C's Doja. Remember what he said? He said, "How could I be homophobic? My bitch is gay." And regardless of how you feel about that bar, it is catchy, it is memorable. He also said, "Tell Doja I'm trying to indulge in that." That's all I'm saying. I just want quotables. Literal rap is the worst. We get it, dude. You have more money, cars, and houses than us. Could you at least creatively insult me?
Is that so hard?
But the biggest offender on this album is a track titled I'm Geekin'. This song shows up towards the end of the album, and it shows up 3 times on the album. I'm Geekin' and then 2 remixes. 3 songs on a 12 album project means 3 of the same songs occupy a fourth of an album that's already lackluster. You know, for an album that preaches about having such a much better life than ours because you're rich, this move right here just reeks of desperation. It's the only song on the album with a healthy number of streams, so he tried to remix it several times to recapture the magic, which means you're just trying to inflate your stream numbers and bring in money. I think for the next project, buddy, you need to slow it down instead of releasing a slowed down album. If you want people to take you seriously as an artist, you must first take yourself seriously. And right now, I'm just not convinced. But hey, I'm just saying. Now, since you made it to the end of the video, I think it's safe to assume you enjoyed the content. If you want to hear my thoughts on another album that recently went double plastic, then click the card on the screen. That card will take you to my review of Coi Leray's new album, Koi. Other than that, hit the like button and let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with this tweet from DDG? Because apparently he loves sex with musty women. How about you?